Anyways, so yeah, I'm here with Maddie today. She's
I don't know why I'm smiling. There's no camera. I'm just so used to it. Like, hey.
You don't have to flip your hair here. You can be yourself. Okay. Apparently we're being too loud. Yes, Heidi, I will obey your commands. This is a dictatorship. No.
Man, you told me to do this.
I know, I'm joking. Alright. Unfiltered tea. We're drinking water right now.
Water because we're healthy.
Oh, yeah. Alright. Alright. So, tell us about you, Maddie.
Alright, yeah, I'm a freshman.
You're a fresh meat. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, so I'm a freshman. That's pretty cool. Kinda. I don't know. You know, I find a home in like theater, filmmaking, that kind of realm. You know,
cool.
Not a very sportistic. Nope, it's not the word. Okay, so
I love that.
Sportistic. No, because there's artistic and then athletic. Yeah, but like artistic and sportistic. You know.
You have to.
I don't know.
What?
I'm not Troy Bolton, guys.
You're the girl version.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not one for sports, but you know, creativity.
Number one.
Yes, I'm forgetting words. I'm struggling.
It's okay. You're on a podcast.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, so right here in my hands, I have a JoJo bow for a crazy hair day.
I have a JoJo. Just a JoJo.
Yeah, I have a JoJo. But one of those annoyingly pink and sparkly bows, I do not like them. But for crazy hair day, I have to.
Of course.
Since I have short hair, I could tie it up, like literally on top of my head in a little bun, and the bow will be sticking out on top of my head.
Love that. Iconic.
It's coming up soon, guys. I'll let you know. Heidi will do a photo on top of my head. Show them.
Love that.
Alright. So, this is free time. How are you doing? How's your day?
It was a long day because, you know, getting used, like, we had the two, like, really weird days where it was, like, 45-minute classes.
Heidi, you're disturbing the podcast. Get out.
Heidi.
Guys, I'm joking.
We love her. But,
Okay.
yeah, so getting back into, you know, the 80-minute classes.
No.
Don't like that.
So for 2 days, we had, like, 40-minute classes.
Yeah. 45-minute classes and, like, you know, 50-minute lunch.
Oh, God. That was amazing.
Yeah, lunch was, you know, first and then just all 4 classes. It was kind of crazy, but it was something that, you know, like the 45 minutes was very refreshing.
It was.
I can say.
I mean, when my mom went to high school, she had 40-minute classes.
Yeah, my parents too.
Yeah, and she would have it all in one day, so we wouldn't alternate days. And I think that's so much more better because we don't have a long attention span.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I say they should start school later and make the classes shorter so they don't have to elongate, you know, the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, they can just kind of keep it there. Because, you know, high schoolers need sleep.
Yeah.
So we're up till, you know, like 11 o'clock doing homework, even later. And then we have to wake up at like 6 to get the bus. So. I
mean, I walk, so I'm lucky. But, yeah.
I don't have enough energy to walk. I can barely make it to my bus stop.
I mean, like, when you walk, especially in the morning, it's, like, really peaceful and, like, the air is fresh. And the dew is out in the air. But, yeah. It's nice. I like it.
Yes.
She's folding her hands. It's very proper.
I spilled water on myself. But, like, in the weirdest way. Because I just, like, put it, like, I did not throw it back. I didn't throw it back.
It's okay. They're not going to know unless you tell them.
Yeah, so.
Shame.
Clumsy me.
Shame. Yeah.
Sorry.
What were you just doing?
Whoa.
So, thank you for asking how my day is.
Oh, yes. How is your day?
Second time in a row. It's okay. No joke. My day was good. It was really humid. It was a hot day.
Yes, it was.
But then some classes were freezing, and I did not understand
Physics.
that.
Physics is like physics in the Spanish classrooms.
Yeah.
Like the coldest classrooms.
Learning Commons.
Oh, yes.
Hi. That's like #1 coldest room out of the whole school.
Yeah, but it can be refreshing.
Yes. But yeah, the school's kind of humid today.
Yeah.
And then plus everyone's like breathing down each other's necks, so you know what I mean? Like that's
You know,
nice.
with a population of the school that's
Yeah.
over 1,000.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 in our school, but we have a good school.
Yeah.
Around 1,800 kids.
1,800 kids, almost 2,000 guys. Keep it up. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I had a good day. Kind of hot, but you know, I'm breathing. I feel happy. So yeah.
That was so pure. I'm breathing. I feel. Love that.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So, want to get to our topic?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
I want to sip that tea. No.
I prefer chamomile.
Same here, actually. I really like that tea.
I don't know what I like. There was like this peach tea that I really liked.
Oh, so you like fruity? I like old,
Only
traditional.
Only peach. There was like a spicy cinnamon one. I love in the winter. Let's see. Yeah, chamomile is pretty good. I'm not a fan of green tea. It's
I kind of like it.
kind of like too bitter for me. I don't know. It's
Well,
like,
black tea's bitter.
Yeah.
You want to talk about bitter? Let's talk about black tea. But I like traditional teas. I don't like
Yes.
anything fruity. I just like green tea, but chamomile.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Old something.
There's like
Yeah.
no, that's
No. Old Spice.
Old Spice is like a body mist and like fragrance company.
I would whistle the tune, but would it affect the mic? Probably.
Oh God.
Love that.
Okay.
All right.
So-
Anyway, back to
Our topic on the list today, or what we're talking about today, is what we need in our generation and what we lack. So, what do you think our generation lacks?
Okay, so
First, yeah, let's go with negative first.
yes.
No.
Okay, so our generation.
There is.
So I mean, this is like kind of a joke, but kind of not. You know, we kind of
that's
lack mental stability. Like.
Can you elaborate? Because some viewers do not know what that means.
Yeah. So, a lot of kids, like even like scientifically, it's been proven that our generation is like way more depressed. You know, has way more anxiety because of the economy and how
Events after 9/11 made us stressed.
everything like
North
everything.
Korea, not gonna say anything.
The multiple school shootings in America that the government hasn't really done anything about.
We're not gonna get into gun laws
Oh
either.
no, not today.
No,
Not today, sis. But
Heidi's nodding her head. She heard a BTS reference.
But yeah, there are so many like issues that cause us to be like depressed, to have anxiety. I have both those things, but it's like very common in like especially high school kids, and it's getting to younger kids now. Like there are 6th graders struggling with depression. There are like even younger kids, and so I think we need more support from the adults and stuff, because adults, when you tell them that I'm pretty, like if the therapist even tells them I think your kid has depression, they're like, well, back in my day we didn't have medications or therapy or anything like that.
Yeah.
So they'll be fine. And I think that a lot more parents need to pay attention to the signs of that stuff, and to help kids actually.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I have to say that's one of my parents. She doesn't believe. Like, this is what I think about it. Like, with depression and stuff, I think the reason why our generation is like most affected by that is because we have things so easy technology-wise.
Yes.
Like, we have everything so easy, and we're not as active as before, and we're not doing things as before. We don't have the same amount of goals. We don't have people do still have these, but it's just way more rare to find. No one has motivation, no one has goals, because everything is so easy for us. Since we lost that as like natural human like instincts, then we feel lost. In that case, I feel like we get depression because we're not as active, we're not as mentally like active.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, as before. So I think it's also like our job is our generation to do that.
Can I add on to the thing? Just to like keep it going, like I think our generation is making life a little too simple. In some.
Oh, okay,
like,
I get
too
it.
Simple to not go through many events that can maybe improve our happiness.
Yeah, I mean, I think because we already have everything at our fingertips, we don't want to destroy that, and we're afraid of, and that destroying that may be bad, but in truth, it's both good and bad. I mean, you just have to accept it because everything's in balance. So, just realizing that, like, maybe, like, making your life more busier, or, like, coming up with more goals, or being more active, you know, just engaging in new things and taking risks, I think that's what our generation needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why kids have I'm using air quotes, depressions, because they're not as active and mentally still, like, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But,
and I do believe that a little bit, but
it could be mixed.
Yeah, and there is, you know, my own psychologist and stuff has talked to me about this, how the brain has, like, neurotransmitters, they're called, and this has to go along, I think, with more anxiety than anything, but if you think one way over and over again, your brain will, you know, it's a path, it's a neuro pathway, and it just keeps going on that track, and, it takes hard work and, just different thinking to get it to break off of that path and go somewhere else. So, like, with my social anxiety, I'd tell myself, oh, I'm gonna make a fool of myself, I'm gonna, mess up, I'm gonna mix up my words, I'm not gonna, do this, I'm not gonna get a good grade. And it took a while for me to, like, break away from that and, like, okay, not everybody else was prepared for this, so maybe, I won't be the worst one. Like, I might do good on this, like, stuff like that. And it's a pathway in your brain that, it's like, it's not, like a, how do I describe it? Like a fake thing. It's not, an imaginary thing that, therapists use to, like, convey their message, but there are actually, pathways in your brain that, do that thinking.
Yeah.
And, some medications do help with that, but I believe, like, thinking just,
it takes a lot.
Yes.
It's a powerful thing.
Yes.
And like I said before the podcast, you weren't here to listen, but that speaking and watching your words and how negative, I'm watching Heidi, and how like you negatively talk. Like I said, I can't talk, but how your words could affect really what your brain, like the path your brain chooses to take. So watching your words when you say, oh, like, I'm so sad, that's like a big fat mood someone else says, you know what I mean? Like, just things like that, like taking in that negativeness as humor, it's still negative. Like, it's not going to change anything. So changing the way you talk and watching what you think and turning it positive is super, super, super duper powerful.
Yeah.
And it'll help you a lot. But sometimes there's those thoughts that are still negative and you have to accept it because that's just you.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't take it seriously. It's just a tab. You could close it.
That's smart. I like that.
I've done a lot of mind stuff videos. Yeah. But yeah.
It's like the tab is you're like, when did I look that up?
Yeah. And
when is this from?
I mean, there's like so many people who think like this is like an exaggerated example, but like they have this sudden feeling, I'm using air quotes, to like hurt someone. You know what I mean? Like physically. And when people start to think this, sometimes they're afraid of it and they think it's real. And I know everyone has had those thoughts, but the thing is, it's really important to say, hey, I acknowledge you, but you have to close it. You know what I mean? Like, just acknowledging it but hiding it is not going to help anything. It's going to make you more scared. It's going to make you have a higher chance of doing that. Yeah. So just acknowledging it and then closing that tab, it's really important to do. So yeah, it's just mental health is really important to me. I mean, you want to be a psychologist. Yeah. So it's super duper important to you.
I kind of want to go more into like child psychology because you know, adults, you know, they're believed more, I guess. Yeah. And many kids, you know, when they're younger, like if they show signs of like social anxiety or something, it's kind of passed off as, you know, oh, they're shy, they'll come around later on. But I believe, you know, like young kids, they do show signs of, you know, certain mental illnesses that, and like at that point it wouldn't be like a full-on mental illness yet because, you know, their brain is still still
developing.
Yes, developing. But you know, like catching it quick and, you know, helping them through that, you know, that might be, you know, might be better so they can, you know, almost like take like a better path than, you know, going down, you know, a super like just harsh and like rocky road, you know, through the teenage years and stuff. Because I remember I got help fairly early for my anxiety. About like 3rd grade was when I first got help for my anxiety. And I did, you know, have some like bumpy pathways and a couple, you know, like ditches that I fell into, I guess. But I, like, looking at, you know, my sister, she didn't get help as early as I did, and she, you know, like, hit many more, like, paths. I feel, you know, helping kids from a young age, like, recognize what's happening, you know, helping them through it would definitely help them later on. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to help children.
Yeah, deal with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to do, to spread the word. Yeah. You know, about that. I feel like nothing. Like in my religion, like they would like go to people's stores and they're like spread the word. I'm thinking stuff like that, but yeah, I think it's really interesting. What else does our generation lack?
Okay, this I guess could kind of be a little more funny and like lighthearted.
Oh, it's fine.
We kind of lack common sense. Like, if you look at, like, some of the things, you know, like on YouTube, I'm not gonna say anybody specific, but
I can already picture who you're talking about.
There are certain people who are, you know, like, younger than, like, 18 and younger, or, like, even 21 and younger.
TikTok.
Yeah, but, like, even that, they lack common sense and they do really, you know, like, either messed up things. They're like, oh, it's a joke. Like, no, it's really not. It's not. You know, it's kind of bad. Common sense, dude. You know, like...
What's 4 times 4? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but, like, even, you know, like, kids in our school, they'll do something really, like, dumb. And we're like, dude, like, common sense, man. Just think about the consequences. And maybe, they just do it. Just... You know, just straight out the gate like somebody skateboarded down the stairs. And I'm like, why?
I remember that day.
What went through your head that made you decide to skateboard down the stairs?
I don't get it. I don't get it anymore. Yeah. I mean, I think it connects back to, like, having technology at your fingertips and then that, you know, doing whatever. Yeah, and then doing whatever doesn't mean anything because everything is already so easy for you or for us.
Yeah, and like, you know, a lot of people tend to do it for, you know, like, it's, as the kiddos say, air quotes, clout. But no, like, you know, they see, you know, people that they look up to, you know, YouTubers, influencers and stuff, and they, like, will copy them and try to do stuff like them, and, you know, they really shouldn't be because the influencers aren't doing the right thing.
Exactly.
So, like, it's, you know, like you said before, social media has such a impact and an influence on, you know, our generation that, you know, sometimes it's better to just, like, kind of break away from it. Yeah. So, yeah. Common sense. get it.
Oh my god. And then what you said also reminds me that how back then, so I just learned this recently, that back then, literally the only way people knew, like, how to contact with, like, the outside world, really besides their hometown or wherever they traveled, was they used to do this in the 70s. They used to call people on their phones.
They wrote letters.
What? No. Okay, no, but that's not it. On the phone, so they used to pay for it. I think that has to do something with it. So, but so basically, a teen would just call a random number, and basically, like, while the operator's talking, they would say, call this, this number, and then
they had to transfer it over.
Yeah, and then they would call, and then that person who got told that random number would call that random number, and then some people would just connect and talk that way.
Yeah.
So it's just that we have so much, like, access to, like, you know, global, having global friends.
Yeah.
So I think having that, what point was I making? I think
it's good and bad. Like having it, like, kind of like so easy, like,
and that's why we don't have comments.
Yeah, like technology wise, like communication wise, it's way better. Cell phones are way better for communication and stuff. Yeah, but
we're open-minded.
Yes, but the influence, it's like it's good and bad.
Yeah,
it brings on a lot of pros and cons and stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah, so.
You can't see, but there's a bowl, and my hand is the mixer.
Imaginary bowl.
IQ level 150.
Oh, yeah.
No, you mean 200?
Oh, shit.
Oh, God. Okay.
What?
You should censor me. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else they lack? Wait, what time are we on, Heidi?
22 minutes in.
That's it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. No.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, no. Okay.
I don't really think that, like, something that our generation lacks, like, specifically, I don't really think there's, like, anything else, like, because many generations also lack it, like, other generations lack stuff that we have.
Yeah.
War.
War.
I mean,
that's what Heidi said. If you can't.
Facts, but like.
Yeah.
I mean.
Like, other generations lacked.
And then women.
Yes.
No rights for women.
Yeah.
And then
lacked.
LGBTQ. There's so much stuff.
Yeah,
so
like
much.
acceptance, diversity, like all that. They lacked that stuff, which, Gen
They didn't
Z.
lack drugs, though.
Whoa.
No, maybe some, but that's it.
No, it's 70s where everybody was,
You're all there.
Everybody and their grandmothers were high. Like, everybody was just
It's because,
doped up.
You know why? Heidi, you brought a valid point. The reason why they went crazy and Crazy for Freedom, again, I watched something like this on Netflix, was because they were restrained by war. And when after that war ended, everyone went crazy and was like, I want freedom, let's do drugs. You know what I mean? So it's just...
Plus, it's also a form of celebration, too.
Yeah.
At the time.
It's not a good way. I'd rather go to Party City and then buy a cheap cake and be done.
I love that. Does Party City sell cakes?
No, I'm saying, like, go to Party City, then buy a cake.
Well, I thought you said get a cake at Party City. I'm like, I wouldn't trust that cake.
Exactly.
Has anybody noticed Party Cities are actually really shady stores?
I know. I don't like
There's, like, 2 employees at all times, and there's a really weird back room that nobody seems to come in or out of. And it's just, like the rows of just costumes and party supplies are just really weird.
Hey, at least the candy is there.
Yes,
so
there's, like, a whole
fine.
candy aisle. I accept that.
I accept that 100%.
No.
Just... No.
Oh, what about, like, good things about our generation?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Gay. No. But, no, like, the LGBTQ plus, there's so many different, aspects of it that...
T. No.
I list the whole alphabet,
Literally,
Yeah.
There probably is a whole alphabet. Oh, sorry, my chair is really cherry, so.
No, a joke I like to make is that, you know, soon enough, somebody's just gonna keyboard smash it. It's just gonna be the name.
Oh, God.
But, no, there are, you know, like, everybody's valid, of course, you know, everybody. But, you know, and that's one thing that our generation, you know, has that others don't is, you know, we accept a lot. You know, we're just better at accepting because we're so used to it. We were, you know, raised around it. And, what was I gonna say? But, yes. But, you know, there's so much acceptance and, it, like, even started recently. I think, the earliest Pride parade was 70s, I think. That was the earliest.
A lot of
Pride
parades
celebration.
happened in
Yes,
the 70s. Like everybody started to protest over everything.
I think the most similar generation to ours right now is the 70s. Because, like, if you take away, like, the technology of the time, but you bring back, you know, like, there's, you know, drugs, you know, both, are very similar. And,
yeah.
you know, like, all the generations, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they had drugs. But 70s, you know, was, like, the spike.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And, you know, our generation is kind of coming back with, you know, like, the war on drugs, all that stuff. And,
yeah.
you know, it's bad. Like,
yeah.
But, you know, the fight, like, for freedom and, you know, maybe people weren't as accepting back then, but that's when, you know, groups started to form, and that's when, you know, like, families that aren't really related, you know, started to form, stuff like that, and I feel, you know, our generation also has that, like, GSA at school.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Explain.
Oh, GSA is Gay Straight Alliance.
It's actually a pretty cool name. I like it.
It's a very fun club, and you know, there's everybody. You know, there's straight, there's gay, there's lesbian, there's bisexual. Everybody, like anybody.
Are you in the club?
Yes, I am.
That's fun.
You know, we have like non-binary people, trans, like everybody, pretty much, and it's the most accepting place to be, except if you think that lemon Skittles are the best flavor, then you're getting kicked out.
I think that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't hate lemon Skittles,
Yeah.
but like
They're not the best. Red Skittles are the best.
red Skittles are the
Oh,
Controversial.
I like purple.
Whoa.
Yellow. No, red Skittles are great. Changed my mind. Oh God. We're going back there again. No, continue.
Okay. But yeah, so it is a very, you know, hugely accepting place, and not like a lot of schools have that.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, I'm thinking like private schools or even like
yes,
Catholic.
yeah,
Like
the
that's
more
no.
conservative schools, you could say.
Yeah. Wait, I had an idea. Can I walk into the club and just have a bag full of yellow Skittles?
You'd get
Can I do it one day?
We'd attack
Can I
you.
walk in with you?
We'd attack you with gayness.
Can I? I'm literally gonna try that one day. Is the club still like? Do you still have meetings?
Yeah, not this following. It's like usually during lunch and stuff. Not
join
next
you one
week.
day.
Yeah, not next week because
I'm gonna bring yellow Skittles.
other stuff.
I'll update you guys.
literally questioning your existence.
Whoa. I'm just. It's gonna be a time.
Oh God.
It's going to be a
They're gonna
moment.
attack me, aren't they?
I got one word for you.
Yeah.
Run.
Dun, 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 dun,
Exactly. I will have the music ready on my phone.
No. I have my kickboxing gloves. I'll bring them.
But yeah, so like, you know, as I was saying, it's just hugely accepting. And we have a Melanin Minds Club. That's what it's called.
What is that?
And it's pretty much a club for, you know, African American excellence. You know.
Oh wow.
You know, it, you know, takes that part of the community of our school. You know, I think I looked at like the percentages and stuff of our school. I think like 51 or 53% is white. A majority, I think 30-something% is Hispanic.
Yeah, we've all.
Yeah, 11% is African American. I think 5% is Asian, and there might be a couple others, but, you know, it takes, we have, like, the Luna Club for, you know, Hispanic kids who may not, you know, speak English that well. It helps them, you know, embrace themselves and their culture and stuff like that, and that's what Melanin Minds does, and it helps, you know, lift up, you know, words. I can't. I'm like, I stutter. I can't think of words.
Oh, I stutter
Forget
too.
Words. What are words? What is English?
Words are words.
What? You know, there are certain communities, and like clubs, I should say, you know, for like everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, a great thing to have, especially at, you know, our school, to have all of that is, you know, a huge step forward. And our, like, you know, our generation, we have a lot of diversity and stuff. And
It's
I think
it's also a huge honor for us too.
yeah,
it's a big honor to have that. I mean, but then we also have to be aware of how we live in the U.S. And that we live, I don't want to say this, but I kind of do. I don't know if I want to say it. Here, I'll cut this out. That we live in the northern area, and I'm like, I know southern, they can be really wary of black people and people who are not white. I've heard of experiences of people going down to the south and being very cautious.
Yes.
of them. It's just like, I don't like to talk about it because it's like, really?
It's a touchy,
like,
it's...
Like, it's modern times. You should be able to change
I remember,
and accept.
going down with my cousins. My cousins are mixed, they're white and black.
Okay.
And I mean, they're the cutest, most adorable kids.
And usually, like, mixed children.
Yes.
What is that? Like,
many children, but
like in a good way. I'm like, what is that?
How are you so beautiful?
I know.
But yeah, so like I'll go down, and you know, me being whiter than white.
She's really pale, but with a lot of freckles. Purely Irish.
Irish, Scottish, and Italian. But the
Whoa.
Italian doesn't come through.
Oh,
Unless when I say coffee.
Coffee.
When I say
Coffee.
When I say coffee.
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 I say coffee.
Coffee. Kind of.
There, but not.
Coffee.
And then like
I say one.
water. I say water.
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 Water. Wait, what word do I say wrong? How do you remember? I kept saying a word.
Was it caramel?
No, it was at the party. Remember, I could not say this word.
Oh.
Remember?
No.
Like, I remember, like, I could not say that word. Like, just no matter how I said it, I just couldn't say it. Do you
I feel
remember?
like I know the word, but like
Anyways.
I just can't remember.
Wait, how do you say caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel.
Yeah.
Some people say caramel. I'm like, what are you doing?
That annoys me because it's Caramel.
No.
Not. Yeah, it's caramel, not Carmel. Caramel.
Wait.
No.
How do you say Morristown? People say different.
I say Morristown.
I say Morristown.
I say Morristown. I say Morristown. Morristown.
You say Mar and then
Morristown.
You pronounce
Morris.
you pronounce the Morris in it. I say Morristown. Like, I don't even say the... I
Everyone's.
just cut out like half the letters, Morristown.
I mean, my mom has an accent, so I don't know if I got it from her. She sounds different. Do you know what? Does she sound different to you?
Your mom?
Yeah, like a lot of people say she has an accent because she grew up.
She does have a little bit of an accent.
She grew up like by Edgewater, which is like right on the edge of the like George Washington Bridge, like really near that area. So it's like almost New York, but not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think I got a little bit for accent.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. I could talk about accents all day.
That's a different topic.
Oh my god, there should just be like a podcast where it's just impersonating accents
Oh
and
my
stuff,
God.
like Irish accents, like British accents, stuff like that. That would be so fun. But anyway,
No.
back to the story.
Okay.
But you know, I would go down with my cousins and my grandparents down to the south, and we would just get weird looks from everybody.
Really?
You know, yeah, like and I'm sure there were like, you know, other reasons too, because my grandfather is missing, you know, his half of his arm.
Yeah.
You know, he has a hook instead, and then me, clearly, like, just clearly not straight. I can say that. Like,
okay.
But, or they thought, you know, I was just like, I don't know, someone...
Weird kid.
Yeah, a weird kid because I had, you know, bright colored hair. And, you know, stuff like that. And
you should wear a wig.
Oof.
We've, no.
And
We've snatched. Okay, anyways.
and, like, you know, chokers and dangly ear, like, all that stuff. And, you know, they probably thought I was some delinquent teen or something. But we would get, you know, weird looks from everybody. And there have been times where, you know, I've kind of, like, glared back at people. If they were, like, glaring at us, I'd be like, what are you looking at? Can I help you? You know, stuff like that. And it's, you know, they have gotten better. But, like, compared to, you know, like, Civil War times.
Yeah.
Clearly. But they still have, like, but the South still has ways to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could go on about that, but, you know, I'd get way too political.
I know, it's like, I get mad at it. Yeah. Like, I respect all of you Southerners. I could do your accent, no, I'm not gonna say it, pretty well. But anyways, I do respect you. Of course. I mean, you're, like, no one's perfect.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's more of, like, an observation on our part, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, us as Northerners, even though it doesn't, like, matter at all, us as Americans, we're all different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal of America. We're literally
A melting pot.
We're a melting pot.
Great
so
American melting pot.
it's kind of natural for everyone to be different in America, and we respect that because this is America. If we were in Canada, then it would be a different story. But anyway,
Because they're nicer.
and they're more European than us.
Facts.
I mean, literally, the French own that place. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it.
They got maple syrup, bacon, and hockey.
Yo. And then they have gorgeous land. Us as Americans, our land sucks.
I mean, there's a lot of good things, but there's also a lot of bad things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pros and
balance.
cons to America.
There's too many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think, what else does our generation do good?
Huh.
Freedom of speech, definitely.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
We speak what our
Freely.
mind tells us.
Freedom of speech. We speak freely.
We speak pretty well. If you know what I mean.
Unless we forget words like me.
I think we're the best well-speaking English.
You're gonna take creative writing as a major. How are you gonna succeed?
What?
I'm joking.
Do I smell a liar? Wow. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I'm just
Whoa.
picking my... She's sipping unfiltered tea. AKA water.
Unfiltered.
Water?
She's drinking unflavored tea.
Unfiltered. We came up with that.
Unflavored tea.
Or unfiltered. Unflavored or unfiltered. Please use that meme. Credit me. Thank you. Yeah. Not Heidi, because she doesn't deserve that title.
Excuse me?
What? I didn't say that.
Sips unfiltered.
Whoa there, bud.
Yeah. What are we doing on time?
38 minutes in.
Beautiful. All right. So we're pretty much almost done, but name some last few points. What am I doing? I'm shaking my head. What?
I don't know. I feel, and I've probably said this before, I repeat myself a lot.
It's okay.
But, you know, there are pros and cons to every generation that, you know, comes by, and, you know,
No, you want a snack? Hold up, you're in an Italian household. This is not right. This is not accurate, people.
I know what that's like. I can't go over to my grandparents without, you know, have you eaten today?
I know. Are you okay?
I literally experienced that this week or last week.
Oh, God.
I went to her grandparents' house. She was like, yo,
Yes.
we have a barbecue. Or, like, we're doing, like, a little family, like, reunion on, like, Memorial Day weekend.
It wasn't really a reunion, because, like, all the extended family for our family's dead or really old.
Oh, my God. Well, anyways, like, she invited me to go to, like, her
little barbecue.
Her barbecue or her cookout, and the minute I entered in, it was like, yo,
Yeah.
Grab anything you want
Yep.
to eat.
And
Yep.
my uncle, because he only saw like the salad on Heidi's plate, and he's like, "You're only eating salad?" He's like, "Get over here and get some real food."
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh no, I already had a burger." He's like, "You want another one?"
I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I was about
I mean, you have
but
to
I was so
eat.
full.
Like, how Italians judge you is about how much food you
eat.
have on your plate, and trust me, that is a good thing. All right.
As a Hispanic,
it's
I
your
agree
choice of food.
100% on that.
Italians and Hispanic agree on food.
They're like, oh wow, good food. Oh yeah, good food. And like, I think it's the choice of food you like and how you eat it. Like, how you eat it is important.
Yes.
I mean, for Italians, how they eat pizza, it's literally different everywhere. I mean, if you go visit one town, for example, you speak like a little bit dialect of Italian, you literally visit the next town, it's totally different. Like, that's how it works. But anyways, with pizza, they cut it with a fork and knife. They don't pick it up at the, like, with their hands, or they don't even cut the pizza, like,
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't know that.
like normal American might. They literally, like, the pie's uncut, it's fresh, it's clean, and they cut it with forks and
That's why
knives.
you and your mom does that
Yeah.
all the time.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't
But
know
it's
that.
really cool, you know what I mean? Just like the difference, like in culture, how like
Yeah.
one thing you could be like, oh yeah, they're Italian.
I fold my pizza.
Disgraceful.
Not a real Italian. I'm sorry. Okay.
Just come to my house and we'll feed you lasagna.
Oh my
My
god,
mom-
her mother's lasagna is the best.
My grandma makes it pretty good too.
Whoa. We need a competition to go down. Grandma versus my mother. Let's go.
Love that.
Actually, can I come to your house one day? I want to see your grandmother.
You have to invite her to your next cookout. I
Oh
promise
yes, yeah. My family is something.
Oh god.
We are something.
Yeah.
you. Let me say it
I'm
right
so
now.
excited.
Her grandpa, funniest man I've seen in a long
He
time.
just
They're really fun.
he doesn't have like a filter, but it's not bad.
What does he like
Like-
curse, or is it more like jokes?
Like jokes, but like they're not like bad jokes. They're not like bad as in, you know, like offensive or anything. They're not that, but it's like one thing he said, he's like, "I'm the only vegetarian Italian you'll meet." Like stuff like that. I'm like, "Grandpa, why?"
Oh god.
And he'll just like,
Can my mom be invited too? She would really
"Oh
like
my
that
god,
experience.
yes." It's just
Get the whole squad.
Do they know
Yes.
how to speak Italian?
I don't think so.
Oh god. Okay,
I know.
see, my mom is like fresh meat Italian. Like
fresh meat.
her
Italian.
parents like fresh off the boat from
Ah.
Italy, so she knows how to speak Italian, but I think she wouldn't like that experience.
Yeah, I think my grandfather's great grandfather
Oh,
was. Both sides of my family have been here for a long time, and
I think that's kind of cool, like seeing like people who were like American for like a long
Yeah.
time.
yeah, like my the grandparents I was talking about were my dad's parents, and my grandma is Scottish, and you know, a few generations. Well, she's American, but you know, I think her grandmother was from Scotland, and my grandfather is, you know, 100% Italian, and I think his great grandfather was the one from Italy. And on my mom's side, it's pretty much the same thing, except my grandma's, you know, Irish instead, and
Yeah.
I think her grandparents were her grandparents came from Ireland, I think, and my mom's dad called him Pop-Up Jack. Yeah, and I mean, he recently passed away last summer. Yeah, but he was, you know, he knew Italian. He was, you know, the most Italian one in the family, I
God.
guess. Like on both sides, the most Italian one.
I would have
Even
loved to
though,
meet him.
yeah, he was funny. But his like, it goes all the way back to my great grandmother, or it would be my great grandfather
Oh god.
was off the boat Italian.
Oh.
So they've been there for a while, and they kept the Italian. Like, they kept, you know, the speaking Italian through all of those generations.
Wow.
Which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, like, you kind of see, like, the language and stuff kind of die down after, you know, a couple generations of being in America. You see, you know, like, traditions stay, but, you know, the language
Does.
might go. But, yeah, so that was one thing that my grandfather kind of kept, and it was just like little sayings here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, I'm a mixture of Italian, Irish, and Scottish.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like your family story.
Yeah, we have many interesting stories.
Oh God.
Story time.
Yeah.
Literally everything about my family.
Your family's really cool.
Yeah, we're crazy. Whoa.
Oh, wow. All right. That was a great story to leave off the podcast.
Yes.
I think that's our closer.
So, check out Podtheyrthem on Instagram. You need to eat that. Is that okay?
If you hear any weird noises, that's my stomach.
She needs to eat. This is not appropriate.
Remember, you're in the Italian household. You need
Such
to
a
eat.
disgrace.
Shun.
Oh, would you like to share your social media and our little film?
If you want to.
I
Do what you want.
forget what my Instagram username is. Forget if it's a dot or a dash. Let me check. Okay, it is Maddie with an IE. The best way to spell it. I argue with the other Maddie about that all the time. Yeah, so with an IE underscore Dido, DIDO.
Oh.
It's the beginning of my name. That's lit. And then me and Heidi have a film account because we love creating films. We're, film nerds, I guess. And that is PIC .productions. So check that out when you get a chance. It's pretty cool. You can see, our newer projects. Might be announcing something a little later,
Ooh.
Well, it'll be
I
announced.
took a peek.
It'll be announced already once this video goes
Yeah,
out.
but, check it out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's good. I took a peek. I'm their editor.
Oh yes.
Rightful place.
Love that.
Another note, we also discovered a new podcast app that we will be trying out sometime in the future.
Yes.
So
we really like that app.
keep a lookout if we,
Post anything.
if we
Well,
post
specifically
anything
Heidi.
there. Yeah, me. We'll let you know about that next week because we're still looking at the logistics. I forgot the app name.
It's called Anchor.
Anchor,
I think.
that's what it is.
I mean, it should be a well-known podcast app, but I'm not sure. Anyways, it's called Anchor. Got good reviews. I trust it.
We'll be taking a look at it.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, bye guys. Wait, what? We need to end on a sound.
on a funny word or
Or
sound.
funny word, sound, whatever you want. Like that. It should be funny.
Sorry. I was just about to do something and started laughing. Alright. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.